toxicity. So what do you mean by that, and what is climate change? Why is it important? We will see. Okay. So beginning of this topic, we will just take up that what is Earth, what are the dimensions. We should know something about Earth, right? So Earth weighs about 2.97 into the power 10 to the power 10 to the 24, right? It is so big. So how much big is that? 5.97 into 10 to the power 24. If the population is continuously growing like this, like presently how population is growing, in 5000 years a day is going to reach where the population weight is equal to Earth's weight, right? So the weight of Earth and the population's weight, it will be same if this same thing continues one day. That one day we don't know which day, but still one day. So what do you mean by population density? It is used to get a rough idea about effect of population on natural sources. So why do we want population density? So that this data can be used to study the economic and social life of any country, right? So what is the standard of living of a population? We can come to know by population density. Coming to the age structure of a particular area, or what do you mean by age structure? So it is the distribution of age-wise population explained in the age structure. So if you can see in India, this might have been changed as of now by 2020. So as of old data, that is children is 40%, the number of population is 40%, youth is 33%. However, it is called as young India, so obviously the youth might be more than 33% now presently speaking. Middle aged is 21.5%, old age is 6.2%. Next is dependency ratio. What do you mean by dependency ratio? So it is the ratio of people over 65 and under 15 to rest of population, right? So people who are under 15 and who are above 65 are usually depending on the others, either the parents or the 65 are depending on their children, right? They can't do the activity on their own. So by this dependency ratio, we can give the economic impact of any country. Next, it is the doubling time. So it is mainly depending on the reproduction time period in which population gets doubled in one particular place and time. In developed countries, it is usually 100 years. So if the population of an area is 50,000, in next 100 years it will be 1 lakh. But in the developing countries, it is usually less than 25 years. That is because there is no much what we can say, I forgot the word. They don't have the, I forgot the word, what you can say. They don't have the awareness, yes. They don't have the awareness of the importance of population which is happening in the country. Next, infant mortality, or you can also say it as life expectancy. The infant mortality whatever is there in India is very high actually compared to other countries. So the death rate or mortality, generally expressed as the number of deaths per year for every 100 people. Life expectancy of average number of years that newborn is expected to survive, right? Next main definition is about carrying capacity. So this is defined as the maximum population that an ecosystem can support under particular environmental condition. So what is the environmental condition in an area and how it can support a ecosystem, right? So if an agricultural system produces x calories of food and living system needs y calories for life's survival, we can calculate it by x divided by y. If population size exceeds the carrying capacity by a wide margin, then it is called as population crash. But in India, 16.5% of world's population, we have in India itself 16% of world's population is there, but only we have 2.4% of land. That's why per capita our land we have is just 0.48 hectares. Next, human development. What do you mean by human development? Economic status of a country is normally judged by GDP. So as you know, the GDP of India because of the pandemic has hit all-time low. It is minus 23.4, I guess, minus 23 point something, I don't know the exact values. So that is called as GDP, economic status of a country. It is the amount of or ratio between imports and exports. But now it is again actually replaced, called as human development index. This is the measure of three parameters, right? Human development index, lifespan, literacy and standard of living. As of now, India is in 128th place, while Canada is in first place for consecutive 7 years. By 2020 it might have changed. I'm not having the latest information. So human development index is, as we can see, Canada, Norway, USA, Australia, Sweden, Belgium, Netherlands, Japan, Britain, Finland. Sri Lanka is having better HDI than compared to India, right? Pakistan is lower than us. Bangladesh is also lower than us. Next, it is all about global warming, or we can also say it as climate change. Both are the same thing, right? There is a change in climate, right? The rainfall, whatever was supposed to happen from June to August, it has completely shifted, right? We are experiencing the climate change as we speak, right? So day by day, by certain gases from the nature, or gases is produced by human activities, are increasing Earth's temperature, which is nothing but global warming. So increase in Earth's temperature is called as global warming. So what is the science behind global warming? Global warming, as you can see, there is a solar radiation, right? It is reflected by the Earth and the atmosphere. But usually some infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere, some is absorbed and re-emitted in all directions by greenhouse gas molecules. The effect of this is to warm the Earth's surface and lower atmosphere. But usually most radiation is absorbed by the Earth's surface and it warms it. Also, infrared radiation is emitted by Earth's surface. So what happens is that, as you know, greenhouse effect, you know that, right? Whatever the radiations is coming, it is being trapped inside the Earth's surface because of the greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, and the Earth is getting heated up. So greenhouse effect, some sunlight that hits the Earth is reflected, some becomes heat. CO2 and other gases in the atmosphere trap the heat, keeping the Earth warm. So as you can see, a very detailed picture of greenhouse effect, right? So some radiations, however, it is absorbed by the earth's surface, some are reflected back, but because of the gases present, the gases or the heat whichever is present, it is trapped. So again, the ozone layer, mesosphere, troposphere, right? So as you can see, troposphere is 18 km from the earth's surface, right? In between stratosphere and troposphere there is something called as tropopause, right? In the stratosphere, at a limit of 50 kilometers we get ozone layer, and at about 90 kilometers we have mesosphere, and above all we get something called as ionosphere. It is 350 kilometer from the stratosphere. But actually greenhouse effect is a good thing if it is limited, because earth heats up and we can survive, but it is happening more and more nowadays, so that is a bad thing. Whatever happens more, it is always a bad thing. So the greenhouse effect is natural process that warms the earth's surface. When sun's energy reaches the earth's atmosphere, some of it is reflected back to the space and rest is absorbed and radiated as greenhouse gases. So contribution of greenhouse gases, it is carbon dioxide, that is 50%, right? H2O2 and 2O4%, that is water is 2%, nitrogen dioxide oxide is 4%, ozone is 8%, CFC is 17%, and methane, that is CH4, is 19%. As you can see, global warming affected areas, as you can see, Africa is most affected, next is India also. But why should we be concerned about the global warming? If there is more global warming or there is more climate change, there is increase in the hurricane intensity. As you know, this time there is a rainfall in Assam, right, and then also in Karnataka, and also there was flooding which happened in Udupi. Never happened such cases usually, but now in 2020, however, it is a bad year. Again, to add to that, there was a very bad climatic condition of rainfall and etc. Right. So first recorded South Atlantic hurricane called as Katrina, which hit to Brazil in March 2004. I was very small at that time. You people were, I guess, 4 years old. You might not even remember. So Katrina was one of the very intense hurricane. It had shook up the world. So all around the news, everything was about this Katrina hurricane. And also because of the sea level, because of the global warming, we can see the increase in the sea level, right? All the ice caps are melting, and because of that, increase in the sea level will be there, right? So because of that, the low-lying areas will be submerged, right? Also species are endangered, right? Such as some of the examples for endangered species, right? Polar bears, puffin, and etc. Coral reefs are also endangered. Next is the chlorofluorocarbons effects, right? So chlorofluorocarbons are a group of synthetic organic chemicals composed of carbon, oxygen, chlorine, and fluorine. Two most common of these are CFC11 and CFC12, which are used as refrigerants. However, use of these chemicals is being stopped around the world because of their harmful effects on the environment. CFC released from various sources risk up in the atmosphere, and there is a breakdown of ozone molecules in Earth's upper atmosphere. So this reduces the ability of atmosphere to prevent too much of ultraviolet rays, as you know in the previous slides. So in details we can see the effects of ozone layer, CFCs towards ozone layer. Right, one CFC are emitted and reach the ozone layer. So CFC are broken down by sun's ultraviolet rays, and chlorine atoms are released into ozone layer, thus causing a chain reaction of a division of ozone into nascent oxygen. As a result, what will happen? There is a hole in ozone layer and harmful ultraviolet rays will